Greetings, people of the internet. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. Welcome to Making Comics 101. This is a bonus issue, and I'm going to run through this probably each time. If you've seen these before, you know how it goes. But these bonus issues are sort of a continuation or a kind of a deep dive into one of our proper episodes. The last episode that we did was on plotting. So this is going to kind of, we're going to dive a little deeper into something that we talked about plotting. I talked about it very briefly. This is just sort of a technique that I do for my own comics. This is my comic Young and the Dead. So far I've got issues 1 through 4. I don't want to say there's a lot of characters, but there's a few characters, and sometimes it's hard to keep track of them. So I've got this system that I use. I don't know if anyone else uses this, or if this is a thing, or if it's something I came up with. I'm sure other people do something similar. I don't even know what to call it. I'm just going to call it, sometimes I call it a scene map, or a character map, story map, whatever you want to call it. I'll kind of show you how it works, because during the course of this story, some of the characters kind of split up. They go different routes, they're heading different places, and I want to be able to keep track of where they are at any particular time and where they're headed and all that. So I've kind of developed this system, again, called a story map or a scene map, character map, whatever you want to call it. What I've done here at the top, I'll kind of show you, this is a big 11 by 17 sheet of paper, about the size of a standard comic book page. And just so I have some space now, of course, this is not to scale. These little items here are actually way further apart, but that's not so necessary. I could have made them a little smaller, but I want to make a little bigger one so you can see, and two, so I can fit all my little characters in here. So on this little key here, I've indicated which one, all of my different characters in as different colors as I can. I only have so many, so some of them look similar. But anyway, so on this side we've got the kids, which my comic book it's a kid-centric story. It's in the vein of like Goonies and Monster Squad, explores all those 80s kid action adventure movies. More recently, Stranger Things is kind of like sort of a big thing currently that you know you could point to as some might point to my comic, Stranger Things being an inspiration for my comic, even though I love Stranger Things, but I've been working on my comic way before Stranger Things was probably even an idea, at least before it was released in the public. I've been doing this for a while. It takes me a while to get out an issue because I'm doing a lot of other stuff, and comics are kind of my back burner project. But anyway, all that aside, so here we go. So these are my characters. Sam Young, his brother Tad Young, Mitch Thompson, Oksana Baranek. I've never said her last name, I don't think it's ever been mentioned in the comics, but Baranovich, Lloyd Garrett, Stephanie Morales, Rocky Morales, and Kelly Gillespie. And then we've got the adult characters who sort of play a minor role, but somewhat important, some of them anyway. Professor William Young, which is these two boys' father, Officer Morales, who is the father of Stephanie and Rocky, Walter Novak, who is sort of a mystery character, we don't know much about him, David Dinkman, which is the proprietor of an arcade, and Roy Wilson, who works for, what is he, I think CDC or something like that, Center for Disease Control. But anyway, so those are the characters in my story. There's some other characters, but they don't really move around. And the whole idea of this exercise, those characters are in one place, and either we don't see them again or whatever. But this is to kind of show where our characters are at any particular time. So everything kind of starts off. I'll kind of open this up. I'll kind of show you in sort of a suburban style neighborhood. So this is my representation of that. Again, not to scale or anything. These houses will probably be further apart. There'll probably be more in between and all that kind of stuff. But so we're going to start with this. This house down here is going to be the home of Sam and Tad Young and their stepsister, which is Kelly Gillespie. So let's get this. And I usually don't think in the comic I've actually talked about their last names. Sometimes I forget what their last names are. I usually have it written down somewhere, but they usually just go by their first names. So I just put the initials for each one of my characters. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start off with at this house, we've got Sam Young, and then in green, we've got Tad Young, and in this sort of magenta color, we've got Kelly Gillespie. All right, so those are the first three characters. Now, let's see, what else? We've got, let's start with, so we've got Rocky and Stephanie. So where's my red? Somewhere I get a red pin. Okay, here we go. Now this is their house. Rocky Morales, RM, and then there's that sort of hot pink one. Stephanie Morales. This is their house right now. So that's kind of where they are. And then in the beginning of the story, let's see where we got Lloyd is brown. Let's see, where does Lloyd start off? He's kind of over here somewhere in the middle as far as we know. He may be doing something else, but we're not in. Once we're first introduced to him, he'll be right there. And then Oksana, she's probably first somewhere around here. Maybe she lives in one of these houses or something like that. All right, and then let's see. So way over here in a whole other neighborhood, another part of town, lives Sam and Tad's dad, William Young. He doesn't live with them. His parents are divorced. So let's see. So M-Y, or H-Y, sorry. That should be an H. Why is that? There we go. No, a W-Y. Okay, sorry. No, you can't read that. Oh well, I know what it says. All right, let's see. And then somewhere around here, let's see, we've got, where's that gray? Coming from over here somewhere, we have Officer Morales. I don't remember if I gave him a first name. And then, oh wait, that's not right. Let's see. Where's that blue? I think this one. And then Roy Wilson. Okay. And then let's see, David Dinkman, who is the, like I said, he's sort of the proprietor of the arcade. He's over here at his arcade. And let's see, who else do we have? The sort of the mystery character here. Walter Novak. He's coming from somewhere. We don't know what, but we'll just start him over here. Okay. All right. So let's kind of figure out where their trajectory, or where they're going to go, or where their travels are going to lead them. So we're going to start off. Let's start off with these characters. Oh, we forgot one. Let's see. Is this the purple one here? Yeah. Mitch. Where does Mitch start? So Mitch will be, maybe he might even live here. Mitch Thompson. Okay. All right. So we got these characters, and where's this one? Okay. All right. So let's start off. First of all, and I don't want to do too many spoilers, so I'm not going to say why people go from one place to another or whatever. That's all in the book. But basically what we do is we find, Sam, they're going to head out here along with his brother. So they're both heading over here, and then they end up meeting with Mitch right here. So they connect together, and then from there, they're heading over here. And if I was going to take more time, I might do like fancy dotted lines or something like that, but that's not so necessary. So they're heading over here. They kind of run into Lloyd, but he doesn't go with them. He ends up kind of, telling them to go on their way, and he's going to go get reinforcements. He meets up with Ox over here, and then after that, the boys continue to this house right here. Because basically what they're doing, I can tell you this, since their father is a police officer, they figure he might be their best bet to help them out. So they're heading over here hoping to get some help from their father, the policeman. All right, so one thing leads to another, and they end up here in the treehouse in the backyard of Rocky and Stephanie's house. So we got Sam Young, Tad Young, and Mitch Thompson. And then eventually, you know, Rocky and Stephanie find their way up to the treehouse as well. Where's the hot pink? Okay. Let me circle that. Okay. So now, well, I guess we can draw all these lines to here if we want. It's close enough where we probably don't need to draw lines. I mean, we get the idea, but we'll just do that. All right. So they end up going up there, and then eventually, I mean, a lot of people are going to end up in this treehouse. So eventually, you know, Lloyd meets up with Ox. They end up heading over here as well. So Lloyd and Ox are now in the treehouse as well. Okay, and we got another person. This is where everyone's, and we're not gonna, again, I'm not gonna give too much away why this certain character ends up on this treehouse, but this mystery character, Walter Novak, WN, ends up there too. All right. Okay. So, and if we wanted to, we could kind of conclude. You know, we can conclude at the end of. You know, this would be. I don't know. We can put. You know, issue 1. Or whatever, if you want to put where they are at any particular time when that happens. But what's going to happen is they're gonna end up going splitting off. Now they eventually do go back into the house, but I'm not gonna go back and forth like that. It's all kind of the same area. We're just counting the tree house and the house as one area. So what's going to happen now is there is a cabin over here, and they decide to split up. They want to go to, Rocky and Stephanie are going to take their dad's car, and they're going to start heading over to that cabin because they think it's going to be safe there away from the zombies. Did I mention this was a zombie story? It's kids versus zombies. So imagine Goonies, but instead of like pirates and gangsters, it's zombies. All right. So, and then the other characters, they decide they are going to try to head over to the arcade. Now this is they're on bikes, so this is a long ways. Now maybe it might not be that far apart. Again, the distance isn't super important, but basically all the other kids, that one you can barely see, okay. All the other kids that haven't taken off in there, who else? Who am I missing here? Mitch. All right. Oh, and then Lloyd as well. So, all right. So Sam, Tad, Mitch, and Oksana are all heading over to the arcade. What's going on? Oh, and then we've got another character here, and this is in the 3rd issue. She kind of stays here, but then eventually she ends up getting on. She's got a little like a Vespa scooter. So here she is. She's heading over. She's trying to make her way to the gas station, which eventually, in the course of another issue, she winds up in the gas station because she needs fuel for her scooter there. All right, so all the kids, and now I can go through and, you know, I can add them all here. They're basically here. Who else? I could have probably just did dots too, but this is, you know, it's a little easier for me. And Lloyd as well. All right. So all these characters are here, and then while this is going on, let's see. So we've got some of these colors are similar. All right. So we got Officer Morales and Roy Wilson together in tandem. Where's that blue? Okay. They're both heading over to Dr. Young's house, and it ends up that they all end up heading out. They're going to head over to GenCore. This is the main destination. This is the lab where the breakout happened, the zombie breakout. So all these characters end up getting in this police car, and let's see. All right. So they all end up heading here, and then they get in a crash, and we're going to leave it at that. Well, we can continue on from there too as well. So let's see, where are we with this? We've got our characters here, and then as we're leading into this on foot, we've got right here. We've got, it ends up Officer Morales and William Young start heading out on foot because the car is crashed. All right, so they're heading to GenCore. Basically, all the kids decide that they need to head for GenCore as well. So they're getting in this truck, and they're all heading over there. Missing one. Yeah. All right. So they're all in the truck, and their destination is over here, and that's currently where we are in our story. So now this is just a good idea. This is a good way for me to figure out where my characters are in any particular time, and if I wanted to, I can go in here wherever they are at a particular issue. If I wanted to, if this happens in issue 3, I can mark that as issue 3 or wherever, just so I know where they are. And that's kind of where my story is currently, with everyone kind of heading, and this is where everything is going to conclude in either issue 5 or issue 6, depending on how everything plays out. There's still characters heading towards cabins or wherever. So we'll see how all this plays out. But I just want to introduce this concept to you guys now. If you have a system like this or a better system, please let me know, because this is something I came up with just to help me out. But I'm totally open to ideas, and if anyone's got a better way of keeping track of all these different characters, or if you like this idea, or if you look at this and say, what are you talking about? That's something. That's there's a term for this, and this person does it all the time and they do it much better than you, let me know, because I definitely want to check it out. But I just wanted to present this to you. So that's going to do it for the bonus episode. So until next week, we will see you with another issue or episode, whatever you want to call them, of Making Comics 101. And yeah, that is all. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media, and now you can support the work that I do on Patreon. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.